Hello friends, this is Kumar and I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. Friends, today I am going to discuss with you The Good Morrow by John Donne. John Donne was born on 1572 and died on 1631. He was called a metaphysical poet because he used complicated arguments even to describe love. His poems were published after his death in a book titled Songs and Sonnets in 1633. His earlier poetry mainly deals with love. The poems written after his marriage to the woman he loved, who is known as Anne, describes the mutual love as in his present poem. His later poetry deals with religious concept. The present poem is dedicated to his wife Anne, and in the poem the poet has talked about the mutual love he and his wife feels for each other. The poet says that now after marrying, both their lives, both their souls have waken up, and that's why he is saying good morning to the souls of his beloved. The poet says that his love for his wife is very real and it is not fake, and so it will not fade away with time. So in this poem, the poet has used complicated and witty arguments to amuse his readers. So now let us read the poem, The Good Morrow by John Donne. I wander by my truth, but thou and I did till we loved. Were we not weaned till then? Weaned is a kind of situation when a child is made to eat food instead of mother's milk. Here this word suggests that the poet is saying that the simple pleasures of life to the mutual pleasure of love, to the pleasures of mutual love. Here the poet is saying that what were we doing earlier? If we were not loving each other, we have not seen the rich joy of life, reciprocal love, mutual love. We were devoid of mutual love. But after marrying you, I have found the mutual love, I have found the reciprocal love. We have found it. So he is saying that he is enjoying his life, but sucked on country pleasures childishly. It means they were having the ordinary pleasures of life, and they were unaware of the richer joy of love, richer joy of mutual love, and they are having it now. But sucked on country pleasures childishly. So it means that they were unaware of the richer joy of love, and they were having the ordinary life, ordinary pleasures of life. Or snorted we in the seven sleepers den? The same idea of being unaware of the richer joy of love is being mentioned here. In 249 AD, 7 young Christians were imprisoned in a cave, which was then walled up, but the children did not die and they kept on sleeping for 187 years. The implicit idea is being mentioned here is that it deals with those people who kept on living their routine lives without knowing the richer joy of love. It was so, but this means except this, all pleasures fancies we. If we leave this mutual love, if we are not aware of this reciprocal love, all pleasures we had, or if we have, that is just unreal. Whatever pleasures we had, they were unreal, they were showy things. The mutual love, we are experiencing it, that is the real love, that is the real love. The pleasures we were having earlier, that was nothing, that was unreal. This is the real pleasure, the pleasure of love. This is the real love, this is the real pleasure. If ever any beauty I did see, which I desired and got, it was but a dream of thee. Here the poet is saying that whatever beauty whatever kind of beauty I had seen in my life, I had seen in my earlier life, that was just a shadow in front of you. That beauty is nothing in front of your face. The beauty you have is amazing, is outstanding. Nothing can compare you. Whatever beauty I had seen in my life, that was nothing, that was just a shadow in front of your beauty. Now let us read the second stanza of the poem. And now, good morrow to our waking souls. Morrow means morning. So here the poet is saying good morning to the souls of themselves. They are saying good morning to their each other's soul, because their soul, after having the love of each other, has finally woken up, which watch not one another out of fear. So here the poet says that we do not have to keep an eye on each other out of fear that the love of the other might fade with time. So he says that we do not have that kind of fear. We know that we love each other deeply, and we have no such fear that the love of other one might fade with time. For love, all love of other sides controls. Controls means checks. So in the love, the loved ones, they look at each other and they neglect everything around them. So here the poet says that we are looking at each other and we do not want to look at any other thing. So it means the love controls other sides, and love makes you look at your loved one. That is what you do in love. And makes one little room and everywhere. In the love, their little room is a kind of whole world for them. Each of them, the little room in which they are living together, is a kind of word for them, is a kind of whole world for them. Let sea discoverers to new words have gone, let maps to others words on words have shown. So South America and North America and the islands near it were referred to here as new lands. Columbus and others have found these islands and they have found the new words, but Europeans were unaware of these things. So here the implicit idea is that the poet is saying that let them find new words, let them do whatever they want to, let them maps show them words on words, so new countries were added in the map. So the poet is saying that let them add these things, let them add new countries to the maps of the words. We do not have to do anything with that. We just want love, and we are having it. Let us possess one word, each hath one and is one. So it means that the loved one is the whole word for them. Like, the poet saying that my beloved, my wife is my word, and I am the word for her. So we are each other's word. We do not want to see any other words. We do not want to see any land, any country. This is our word. We are each other's word. Here ends our second stanza. Now let us read the third stanza of the poem. Now this is the most important line of this poem. Mine face in thine eye, thine in mine affairs. This line refers to the reflection in each other's eye. The reflection we get when we look at each other's eye of oneself, this kind of thing is mentioned here. And true plain hearts do in the faces rest. So the poet here is saying that in the eyes we get to know the truth. If one wishes to see the truths, one can see in the eyes of the others. The truth lies in a person's eye. If a person is speaking lie to you, look at his eye, and then you will get to know that if he is speaking truth or false or lie. You will get to know. Whenever you have to check that other person is lying to you or speaking truth, look at his eye, and then you will get to know. Where can we find two better hemispheres. Two hemispheres as shown in the atlas constitutes the earth. Similarly, the poet and his wife's love for each other combines two souls and make one unified life. Without sharp north, without declining west. North, sharp north means cold north. When we goes from the equator, the north side gets colder. So here the poet saying that his love for his wife and his wife's love for him will not get cold like the sharp north. Without declining west means the west is a kind of fading away when the sun gets set in the west. So west is a kind of symbol of fading away. So here the poet is saying that their love for each other will not fade away with time. Whatever dies was not mixed equally. Here it was believed that when the two components are not mixed in equal amount, the things gets decayed. If our two loves be one, or thou and I, love so alike that none do slacken, none can die. So here the poet is saying that if our love for each other is equal in amount, like the components of any herbs or any mixture, if our love is equal for each other, then our will not decay and it will not die. So the implicit idea is that we should love each other equally, and then our love will not fade with time, and then we will enjoy the mutual love till the end of our life. That is what poet says in the last lines of the poem. So our present poem ends here. I hope you understand the poem very well, and if you understand the poem, then please like, share and comment on the video, and please subscribe the channel for further such updates. This much all in this lecture. Thank you very much for joining us.